From the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery in Nashville, Tennessee, it's Gardening Inside Out, a podcast with highlights from our Saturday morning live show, answering all your gardening questions, giving you plant advice for any space in your life. Let's start the show.
Hey everyone, it's Caroline Gant.
Hey everyone, it's Austin Lowen.
And it's Tyler Blankenship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Me too.
Feeling folly out there a little bit, y'all.
It is.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Finally.
it's still mild for this time of year. Honestly, we haven't even had a frost yet here in Nashville, Zone 7B. No frost, and none really in sight yet. That's kind of odd for middle of the road November, right?
It's very odd.
Yeah.
My houseplants are still out.
See, that's crazy. That's crazy. Mid-November, your houseplants are still out. Like, you're not seeing any damage because we haven't had anything that's just been horrible. I think I saw this week like 41 is the low.
Yeah. I mean, I need to get them in, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But you haven't, and everything's still okay.
Everything
So
is still doing great.
The laziness has been paying off, and it's great.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, honestly, I was a little proactive, which is rare for me, and I brought my houseplants in like over a month ago, and
How
they're
many
all just like,
houseplants do you have?
oh, I don't have near as many as I used to, but probably anywhere from 12 to 15 maybe.
That's a good amount.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Some I've had for years, some are new, whatever. But like I said, I brought them in my house, and my house has horrible light. So honestly, they would have been better if I just left them outside.
Would you call the lighting in your house like a dungeon?
Kind of.
Dungeon
I mean, I
lighting.
don't know that it's dungeon worthy, but
Pretty dark though.
it's dark. Yeah, I just don't get sunlight where I need it around the windows. I just don't. So I just let them plants just get through winter. Y'all just get through it with me. Okay, I don't like it either. But
it'll
then in
be
the spring,
okay.
we're ready to get back out. Tyler, I'm looking at you right now. You know why?
Why?
Because you did something last night, buddy.
I
You
did.
You sent
did.
us a picture.
Yes.
You did it. Tell us.
So yeah, daylight savings time happened, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. I planted I finished actually weeding and then replanting and rebordering my side yard bed, which I talked about before. I told y'all that I got the switchgrass in our grass sale here. So it was time to finally get it planted because those grasses were very root bound in their 1 gallon pots. Not much room to absorb moisture. Lots of vine, really bad vine roots. I mean, like feet long under the ground
Yuck.
that I would cut up in sections and pull up. Yeah, yuck is right. And I'm not done.
No,
I got the grass up.
It's never done.
It's
Yeah.
never done. That's the thing. But you got the first step in, and I saw the picture last night of you working at nighttime, like you shine the light on it.
Yes.
And the grasses are just so upright and looking so good against that wall. So
Yeah,
Proud of you.
Yeah, 7 of them. And that picture was taken at 6 p.m.
yeah, that's how dark it is and
But
annoying.
it seems like it was like
The
9 or
worst.
10 when I finished, and I was like, okay, gonna be a late night. No, I finished at a great time. I used a very bright LED work light and kind of shone it on my area there, and it worked really well. And I'm just like, sunlight, even though you're gone, I can still keep trucking.
yeah.
That's right.
And I think that's a good thing to think of. Like when the sun goes down, it doesn't mean all activities are canceled, because the weather's been so mild. Like you said, just give it a go. Get in there, get your hands in the dirt
I agree.
while you can.
Just use some lights. All you got to do. And Tyler, you just put in a buzzword in the last things you talked about, and I want to bring this up because it really, really annoys me, and I think it's a huge misconception. And it's the word root bound. Okay, people throw this word around like crazy. Things being root bound in their pots, and it is an issue whenever a plant is root bound in a container. Okay, but whenever you're buying a plant from a nursery and you take it home and you kick it out of your container and you see that there's a million billion roots and they're all spiraling and it's just got a ton of roots or whatever. And people would get upset about that sometimes. Be like, oh, I bought a root bound plant. Like, y'all, this is not what I really wanted. And I'm like, so would you rather have a plant that you pull out of the pot and it's got no roots in it at all?
Yep.
No, that's not what you want at all. So if you have what Tyler had, which is switchgrass, that has an extensive root system, that's a good thing. It's good to have tons of roots when you plant a plant. The key is teasing those roots and messing them up, cutting some off, whatever you got to do.
Loosen it up.
I can't stand that word root bound. It is only for container plants. In your world, Caroline, for sure. If a plant gets root bound, you can't water it anymore, can you?
I use that word a lot in my world.
Because it blows right out of the pot and it doesn't get water where you need it. But when you buy one and it's got a tons of roots, like that's a great thing.
It's an okay. Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, because you're putting them in the ground, and that way, they'll go and
And
more
the
roots are
plant
better than
is,
less.
Like, it's more sturdy, I will say, because I have planted a lot of things at this point, and most of the stuff I buy is very tight in their pot.
Mm-hmm.
I always just say tight in their pot. Pretty root bound. But the stuff that I've gotten, the outdoor stuff, perennial shrubs and trees especially, that are very wiggly. Once I put them in the ground, you have to stabilize them. And they don't do as good. It takes them longer to really establish
Totally.
in the ground than ones that were root bound. I mean, I've planted stuff that I've had to cut the pot off of.
Yes.
And I couldn't even really loosen the roots. And I just said, you know what, I'm just going to stick it in this hole. And they're healthy and fine. Like that Dawn Redwood I have.
Exactly.
I was barely able to get the nursery pot off.
Yeah.
And it was so hard to loosen the roots that I just stuck it in the dirt. Mm-hmm. And it's huge now.
I'm not worried about switchgrass, especially. Grasses are some of the craziest rooting, deepest rooting plants you could plant. And so that switchgrass was root bound, I think, because it was just a vigorous rooting plant.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I'm not, I didn't even mess up the roots when I took it out because I know it's going to push new ones and they're going to go.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, buying a plant with that many roots is a good thing, not a bad thing. So,
Also,
I'm glad we cleared that up.
Also, I did not amend the soil.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you don't need to with that.
And you don't need to with a lot of grasses and a lot of native plants because they already thrive in our native soil. And I know that, okay, subsoil is different than topsoil, right? I don't really have that much topsoil. I do have a side yard bed where a bunch of daylilies like decomposed over years and years. And I'd consider that enough organic material for them to be fine.
Totally.
I did add some earth mix garden on top.
That's never bad.
But
bad.
I didn't put it in the hole. Mm-hmm. And that's also to prepare for planting the woolly creeping thyme below.
Nice.
Which that's the next step.
I'm excited about that step. I like me some good creeping thyme.
Oh, I love it. I planted it in the spring in a little side bed I made with some switchgrass. I've got northwind switchgrass, lavender, and then in the little windows, I've got the elfin creeping thyme. And it did great. When I bought it, Austin said, Caroline, that's going to die.
It just seems so small and weak, though, the little tiny little
It's so tiny,
growth.
but it's so dense. And
Yeah.
it has spread so much. It bloomed. It's spilling over the side of the area that I have it because I raised it up a little bit. I had to cut down a tree, so it's this huge branch that I pushed into it and just piled up Earth Mix Garden and then planted all that stuff in there. And it's doing great. The lavender looks fantastic right now.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, it's been a nice year for lavender. I could see how that would be. We've been somewhat on the dry side and still warm, so
But
that'd
what's
be
funny
good.
is I also planted creeping rosemary in that same new bed. All of it died.
Interesting.
The lavender lived, the creeping thyme. I have a drift rose and all the switchgrass. Great. Creeping rosemary, not so great.
I also had a creeping rosemary that I planted in what was a former waterfall water feature thing.
Did yours
I was
die?
like, yes.
Yeah. Maybe it just wasn't the year for it.
I think I never watered it, and it wasn't going to get water up where it was naturally, so I think it might have been too dry.
Yeah.
A little bit too
Can
dry.
happen for a young
Well,
plant
Austin,
like
what
that.
did you do? You did something exciting this weekend.
I did. We took the kids up for a big old camping trip. It was awfully rainy.
Yeah, you
So
picked
fun.
You picked a very rainy weekend.
Hadn't
for
rained in
that.
months, and then Kev's going camping. Let's dump on him. So that was that was annoying. But anyway, we still had a great time. The kids don't really care about rain all that much. They'll get out in it.
There's
They were
puddles
all-
when it's raining.
There is.
It can
They were
almost
all-
be more fun.
They were all barefoot and running around all wild, tracking mud into the tent. You know how it is. But other than that, it was a good time. We went to, where'd we go? Bledsoe Creek State Park. And that was cool. Yeah, it's always fun to go to a state park. You know, Tennessee has great state parks. Just tons of flora and fauna all over the place. So the deer came right up to you. We had a squirrel literally nibble on a little apple we were handing out to him. It was the cutest thing I've ever
love
seen.
that.
It was great.
Later
he didn't
in the
take the apple, though.
in the episode, you will hear Austin talk some mad smack about squirrels. But
Well,
right at the top of it,
in the gardening world, yes. Out in the woods of somebody else's world, they're great. They're fun to look at.
they're so cute. They're
Yeah.
rats with fluffy little tails.
He was fun to watch. A little twitchy guy, I guess they all are. But anyway, and just being in the woods, it's just always good. There's a ton of native juniper out there. I saw a bunch of bald cypress that were right on the water's edge, sending their
they're really
knees up.
Oh, I bet that looked.
And
I wish you had gotten
boy,
a picture of that.
I know their fall color is stunning right now too. So that was a sight
That's a
to
great
see.
park for spotting waterfowl.
Yeah. There
along
was a
the
lot, yeah.
the
Right on the
swampy, the
Uh-huh. So that was cool. And then randomly enough, there was a lot of Osage orange trees.
Really?
What y'all know about Osage orange trees?
that wood though
that wood, though.
is some of the hardest, like
hardest.
rot resistant wood.
It is. It's beautiful wood too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them have like gnarly spines on them. And then they drop our favorite, the old horse apple. Mm-hmm. Y'all know those big green apples
We used
that
to
are
go
not apples.
bowling with them as kids,
Yeah.
which was just throwing them at each other and down a hill.
Yep. I impressed my kids. I told them I was going to throw it up against a tree, and I launched one across
Did
the
it
hall.
explode?
Yeah, it exploded. It wasn't as explodey as I wanted it to be. It kind of like cracked in half and fell back down. And I was like, girls, there's going to be a tree there next year.
There's going to be another one of these. If you're listening and you have not seen these before, what we're talking about, they look like brains that are the size, like larger than a softball, a little bit
Yeah,
larger.
a little bit
than
larger
one.
than a softball. Yeah, and they're heavier than a softball. That's
And
for
they're
sure.
like green monster brains. They're crazy. There's nothing else like them.
No, there's really not.
And when you split them open, there's like a milky sap that comes out.
Yep. It's a cool tree, too. I'm a pretty tree.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
And
seeing
when
that
they drop on you, they're really heavy. I feel like they could kill you if it fell from high enough.
Probably.
I'm seeing that they're not toxic, but they have an unpleasant taste and texture.
They supposedly, if you put them in corners of your house, will help keep brown recluse away.
Interesting.
I have never tried that.
I'm seeing pest resistance. Yeah.
Good
but
fun
I
fact.
have
Repellent.
heard that.
I'm assuming they call them horse apples because I think horses like to eat them, right? Or does I just make that up? I
Or
don't
it's
know.
the apple for a horse because horsers
Horsers are a lot bigger than us.
bigger than us.
Could be.
I believe this tree might be similar to the Joshua tree in that there was an ancient animal that used to feed upon the fruit and that would spread it around. But now that creature, animal, is not here any longer, they just drop.
Yeah.
So
Could be.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, but I am pretty sure in the depths of my brain that they're male and female on separate plants. So if you see fruit hanging from one, it's probably a female tree. Don't quote me on that right now, but I'm almost certain I remember
We
that.
won't quote you on that.
Anyway,
But that's exciting that you got to go.
it was a fun trip. It was a fun getaway. And like I said, just being in the woods, bring you back to nature, just makes you feel good. You know, had a campfire going the whole time. And then whenever I got home, like all my kids were beat. They were done. My wife was done. She was ready to just chill, lay on the couch. I went outside and burned some more wood. I was
You
like,
kept the fire going.
got to keep this going. So
I don't know if you guys have heard of the 3 levels of fun at all, but the first level is where you're like, oh, that was fun, and you're enjoying it while you're doing it. The second level is, oh, okay, I'm kind of sore. I'm not really enjoying this, but when you get back, you enjoyed it.
yeah.
And the third is just not fun. But at least you have the story to take away with.
Yes.
That's right. At least
So
you have that.
whatever level of fun you have, I hope you're just having it.
There you go.
You had it.
We had some fun this weekend on the show.
We did have fun this
It was
weekend.
a
on the
lively
show.
talk. We had a guest speaker.
We
Yes.
Or
did.
a guest.
Natalie
Ashker Sievers
Ashker Sievers.
of Tennessee Local Food. She's the executive director, and she also orchestrates the Tennessee Local Food Summit, which is just one of the coolest events I think ever that I've ever thought about in our area, because it unites like local farmers, market gardeners, agricultural experts, even Native American gardeners and practitioners, and everybody gets to learn from everybody.
Yeah, it's a great organization, and she gets to talk a lot about it in this episode, so you'll get to hear all about it. It's very exciting. I really enjoyed having her on the show.
I got real excited about growing that food. Y'all know how it is.
You did.
Everybody should be trying to grow some food.
I
Like
think-
we can't feed our family with, small yards or whatever, but everybody should be trying to grow some sort of food.
Try to grow something.
Of
Be
course.
Austin, grow you some corn.
Corn.
You love it.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. Well, I guess it's about time to get into it. What do you think?
I guess so.
I'm fired
I was going
up.
to talk about all the plants I bought, but
Oh.
nobody needs
Oh,
to
wait,
hear
we
about
do
No.
need to stop. No, we need to stop and ask you what you bought a really cool plant this weekend. A
I-
very ornamental.
I did.
Real quick, let's tell.
I
let's
bought an
see.
Angel Falls white pine.
I love that plant.
Mm-hmm.
There are no two alike. Y'all look this plant up. If you do not stake it up, like
I'm
how you
not
get them
gonna
from the.
stake it.
Well, no, you're not. It gets too tall to be staked. But
Yeah.
I mean, from the nursery, these guys are trying to keep them nice and straight, so you get something nice on a retail lot. When you get rid of that stake and you let this plant do what it wants to do, it gets funkied up
Up and down.
in any different direction you could imagine. It takes a turn, it takes a left turn, and then it takes a swoop down, and then a turn back up. Like it's funky. So I'm very excited you bought that plant.
I'm going to let it go. I bought it because every year I buy myself a cool specimen like conifer or something of that nature for my Christmas tree. So instead of getting a cut Christmas tree, that's typically what I do. I'll bring it in my house for the 4 days leading up to Christmas and then plant it in a new spot in the yard.
I think it's
So I
a
have
great idea.
Quite an enchanted forest going on at my house.
And you know what? Cut Christmas trees are expensive now anyway. So, like, why not buy yourself a live specimen like you do? Buy it in
Yeah.
a pot, leave it in your house for a few days, and take it back out and plant it. Like, it's such a good idea.
I mean, this one was actually cheaper than a cut Christmas tree would
Exactly.
be. And I'm going to have this gorgeous specimen growing in my yard for
It's a specimen, that's for sure.
quite a while. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So we were missing Mr. David Bates on this episode. But like we talked about, we had Natalie filling in, doing a great job. So take a listen.
Grow some food.
Folks, just jump right on in here and we'll introduce our guest. Our guest is to my left, and this is Natalie Asker-Sievers. She's the Executive Director of Tennessee Local Foods. Welcome in, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, tell us about Tennessee Local Foods. What is it? Okay.
Yeah, so we are a nonprofit organization, and we serve the state by supporting small farmers and connecting consumers and all parts of the food system, people that work in the food system, together. So we
Okay.
bring people together. We're a convening organization. We do education, outreach, and connecting small farmers to resources.
Well, and the small farmers they need all the help they can get.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
fighting against the big agricultural companies, but there are still a lot of good folks out there, aren't there?
Oh, yeah, of course. But yes, like you said, the small farmers really need all the help that they can get. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Is there any particular farm that or product that they seem to be focusing on or being more successful with?
Yeah, it could go a lot of different ways. I think
Okay.
that what separates small farmers is that they're mostly growing what the USDA would call specialty crops. So
Okay.
anything that's not the big commodities like corn, soy, tobacco. So they're growing diversified vegetables, fruits, meats. So this is what our,
Okay, so
our
you're
network.
you're
they're growing.
bringing in chickens and eggs and
Yeah,
and
exactly.
honey. Do they have a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, bees
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, I spent a few hours, days, weeks sweating in a tobacco field as a young man. It's not easy work. So
No.
it is. And it's always at the hottest time of the year in North Carolina. Oh my gosh! So, but Austin, jump in here. You got any questions?
Well,
You're an agricultural guy too.
oh, for sure. I've got that. I live in like kind of an area that's a huge farming, area of the world. And it's great. And they've got signs up that say, thank a farmer. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, because we do. We need to thank our farmers. And like around me, there is a lot of that big, stuff that they're growing. Corn, soy, tobacco. Those are the big three that are literally around my area. But there's plenty of those farmers that are growing the other things. They're growing tomatoes. They're growing squash. They're growing, melons, all sorts of those things. And why wouldn't you? Like, you should. Every person should be growing
Something.
some sort of food.
You're right.
There's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than planting a garden and watching it grow. Even if you're just a home gardener. Like, yeah, we're not all farmers, but we can all act like we are a little bit. We
can
all
all grow a little
bit of food.
something.
Yeah, it's not hard to grow squash.
You love growing corn. Actually, squash is kind of hard because of all the squash bugs.
Nah, it ain't that hard. I mean, the squash bugs are there, but
It's easy, but then they take over
they can.
every single year.
The trick is really to be watching the back of the leaves and then just be watching for those eggs.
Getting them eggs.
And then
Getting
just
them out.
squishing the eggs
You
with your
nailed it.
hands.
You nailed it.
Yes, taking them out.
It's the word is scouting. We
Yeah.
scout for whatever is going on, and
Look at
if
those
you can,
hands.
yeah, they're happening this morning. I'm ready. She's talking farming. Okay, I'm excited.
He's fired up
passionate.
now.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
We
she
got him fired
talked
up
about
early
the
today.
eggs of the stuff. Like, we had a question last week that was like, I guess was like, hey, I brought an indoor plant in and I got a caterpillar on my plant.
Yeah, how did that happen?
How did I get a caterpillar? You had a random egg that got laid on that plant, and then you brought it in, and that egg hatched,
And then it was like, hi.
and that hungry caterpillar just started eating.
just
How
started
important
munching
is-
on those houseplants.
How important is the farm-to-table supply chain for the local farmers and the smaller farmers? Because there are lots and lots and lots of the And my wife is texting. She doesn't know I have
Josh!
any
Austin looked at me like it was me.
I thought it was. I heard a phone.
But there's so many of the restaurants that partake of the local farmers because it's good for you, and it makes the dinner worth the drive to some of these places.
Oh yeah, I mean farm to table restaurants, like yes, the food. I mean, there's so many awesome restaurants, and Nashville has an especially amazing farm to table restaurant scene. There's so many good places where you can get food that was grown by farmers right here in Middle Tennessee.
Right.
So very important, as is buying direct from the farmer. At the farmer's market through a CSA.
CSA.
A CSA, yeah. So CSA, it's an acronym. It stands for Community Supported Agriculture.
Okay.
It's a program that a lot of farms have. It's just a business model, kind of like a subscription where you sign up and you say, I'm going to invest in your farm. Maybe you pay up front, maybe you pay monthly. All farms kind of have their program differently. And then every week or maybe bi-weekly, whatever the farm does, you get your produce or even meat. There's even some local meat CSAs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Very cool. And it takes you back to the earth when you do that. I mean, it really does. So, but yeah, it's neat.
It's just better too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just better. A tomato that's harvested here in Middle Tennessee compared to harvested in, like, say, Canada or Mexico and then shipped up here and in our grocery store tastes like nothing. We all know this. But if you get one that's grown here locally and it's ripe whenever you get it, like ripe on the vine, what's better than that?
Melons that are not trucked from Florida
Exactly.
or California or whatever.
It tastes better. It's also more nutritious. And you're supporting the local economy.
Exactly.
And we're keeping our money right here in the economy. It's a win-win.
And we're fortunate here in Middle Tennessee. Now we go all over the country and the world with the program. I mean, we're worldwide, folks. You know that, don't you? So,
Worldwide, baby.
We're worldwide. But we're lucky enough here that there are still local fruit stands and farmsteads that they do all kinds of different things. So that's great. That's great. So you're based in Lebanon. Or you're based in Clarksville?
We're based in most of us live in Middle Tennessee.
Okay.
And we do a conference we do a lot of different things, educational programming, but we do a big conference called the Tennessee Local Food Summit. And we were in Lebanon the last 2 years.
Okay.
Prior to that, we were in Nashville for almost a decade.
Wow.
At lots of different universities and other institutions. So this year we're going to be in Clarksville at Austin Peay State University, December 6th through the 8th. And it's going to be so much fun.
Tickets are on sale now?
We'll have to take a little field trip, Gardening Inside Out. Field
Oh my
trip out there.
gosh. We would love to have you.
Oh, we will be there. Plus, I live close to Clarksville, so that's also a win-win right there.
Well, and Bates Nursery is a sponsor, and we are so grateful for all the support that you guys have offered us over the last few years. So please join us.
We'll be there.
Yeah, you'll see
Absolutely.
Earth Mix there, actually. I'll be manning the Earth Mix booth.
Who is that?
Cam. Hey, he's here.
Yep,
Oh,
that's
looking
me.
great, T.Y.
Hey,
Oh, he hit the button.
I did.
Yeah. The boom button.
And then you went away.
Yeah, it scurried away.
Well, folks, if you have questions for Natalie, because even if you're in Idaho or you're in Colorado or Oklahoma, there's probably a local organization like hers that is in your area. So if you've got questions for her, we're going to continue to do the regular program. And I know Caroline's got some questions over there as well.
We got a
So
few.
we'll just go ahead and get started. And you feel free to jump in because you have expertise as well.
Yes,
Okay.
jump
Thank
on
you.
in. A lot of talking goes down on this show, and it's a fun time. All right, we already got a live question in on Facebook from Jennifer. Jennifer says, good morning. Is it too late to plant hydrangeas? Is there a variety that you would recommend for shade? Put that
Jennifer.
eclipse. Get that eclipse.
Hey, Jennifer, good morning. It's good to hear from you. I'm glad you're here. And we sell 5 different species of hydrangea here, okay? Only one of those species is for full sun. The other 4 are for shade. So we've got plenty. What do you want? Do you want the Endless Summer collection?
Oh, I do.
That
Wow.
Endless Summer collection.
That Endless Summer.
That blue, that pink, depending on the pH of your soil. Round blooms, great for shade. Hey, we've got incredible hydrangeas, Annabelle hydrangeas. Those are pure white. They're round blooms.
Those are your favorite.
Incredible is my favorite hydrangea.
It's one of your favorite.
Out of
plants.
all the species Incredible is number one.
A lot of the panicles like the shade a little bit better than the sun, don't they?
No, the
No,
panicles
those are
prefer
full
the sun.
Okay.
Roasting
Yep.
hot sun.
They'll
That's
take
what
it.
They want.
They'll take it all day long. I've got one called Quickfire. That is a tree form hydrangea that's in the full sun all day long. Loves it.
Your animals are in full sun, right?
Ish. They're like full sun ish.
Ish.
They're kind of
does that
below
even
they're kind of below a crepe myrtle, so they get a little bit of shady stuff, but they're fine with full sun. Y'all, a lot of these hydrangeas, okay, there's some overlap. You can have them in the full sun if you wish, but you must keep them moist.
Yep.
If they're in the full sun, they need to be a little bit more wet. They don't need to be dry. Dry full sun is tough on a hydrangea, okay? But full sun and moist is okay for a hydrangea.
You were
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Closed circuit. Don't put your eclipse in the full sun.
No.
No.
That's a magnifier.
Have you moved yours yet?
Nope.
When are you gonna
Josh.
move yours?
They actually came back because the way the sun moves across the sky, they actually started to produce a little bit better and got
Yeah,
some
but
new
dead of
leaves.
summer, they're going to be so sad next year.
Yeah, but I got a project we'll talk about a little bit later. No, we got things got it going on.
But yeah, Eclipse, I have it. I know David has one, maybe a couple, but
David's
that's like
got
a
animal.
black leaf. Well, no, we're talking about the
Oh,
Eclipse.
the eclipse, yes.
We're talking about that one.
Sorry.
black leaf with
It's
red
a
blooms.
goth hydrangea,
It's
black leaf with red
amazing.
blooms. That's a great shade one. But the first part of your question, I'm not sure if we did answer it about can I plant them now?
Oh, this-
Absolutely.
this
This would
is-
be a perfect time.
It's the best time right now.
All right, our next question is really fun. Are
Fun.
y'all ready?
Oh, God.
Natalie, are you ready?
I'm so excited.
Natalie.
What do plants dream?
What do plants dream?
What do plants dream? I know what mine are dreaming of.
What?
Being planted because they're all
Still
over
in
my
the-
property, still in the nursery pots. But if
got-
you were a plant, what would you be dreaming?
I think I dream of sugar.
I
I want
Really?
that's what photosynthesis is all about, right?
yeah, there's sugars involved in that. What do plants dream? What a question.
It is, yeah, when I saw that pop up.
I mean, blooming, right? That's their.
Hey.
Yeah.
To
There you
dream
go,
to
Natalie.
bloom.
Yeah. I
I'm
feel
going
like
with white
that.
That's really
Christmas.
poetic.
I mean, it's
mean,
got to be
thanks.
white Christmas.
Your plants are, well, I guess they'd be covered in a nice blanket while they're sleeping and it's
It'll look
cold.
good out
so
there.
that,
Yeah. So
that works.
Dreaming to bloom. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
That might be a good shirt or something.
You're welcome.
Dreaming
Then
to bloom.
put
Well, you
Natalie
certainly
right
don't want to
underneath.
show them a scary movie right before they go to bed at night. So you're going to wouldn't want to have a nightmare.
Do you have a projector out in your yard and you show the movies?
Lots
right?
of folks do have those projectors
For
out
their
there.
plants?
Well, they have them out there in the yard. The plants can see from across the yard if you've got it going on.
That's
So,
true. They're probably watching.
Uh-huh.
They respond to music, so
Could be the neighbors. You don't want to mess with the neighbors' plants either, right?
don't shake your head at that.
Respond to music.
They
All right, what would you be dreaming if you were a plant? I feel like you're the only one who has not answered this.
I'd be. I don't know.
Or what are your plants dreaming? Not if you were a plant.
My plants are dreaming of like getting cleaned up. They're like tired.
Your
and,
crepe myrtle is dreaming of murder.
oh, my crepe myrtle. Tyler,
What?
we're doing the video, bud.
what are we doing?
My crepe myrtle pretty much lost
Oh.
all of its leaves, and it's dreaming of getting cut.
Oh, the
by
crepe
hard.
the crepe murder
It's ready
video.
for it. Yes.
So that could be a nightmare, right?
it's gonna be.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm gonna.
For
Yeah.
the crepe myrtle, it's going to be. Yeah.
It's gonna be a nightmare for that crepe myrtle. It's time, y'all. It's about time for
ready
crepe
to
myrtles
go.
to be cut back. A lot of things to be cut back. It's yeah. That's it. Things
Okay.
plants are dreaming to be cut back.
Plants are dreaming to be cut back.
That's what it is.
We all had great responses to that. And we just got a live
From who?
comment in from David Bates.
Oh,
David.
Josh is creating discounts in my absence.
Cats away, folks.
Good morning,
Cats
David. We're
away.
missing you on the show right
Good
now.
morning, David.
We hope you're having a fantastic time wherever you are.
Yes.
So
for real.
read all the newsletter. Read
Read
the
the
entire newsletter and read it back again. Okay,
Yes.
following the instructions.
And then come to the nursery and we will talk to you about what the sales
Is
are.
actually on sale.
Actually on sale. But hey, you can't be I know we're going to talk about it later in our
Yeah,
commercial
we'll
spots,
get it
but
going.
you cannot beat that. I mean,
No.
now is a great time to plant perennials.
It's the best time to plant almost anything.
Yes.
And like our perennials, like some of them don't even have foliage up anymore. Like some of them,
But
most
some
of them
of them
look great.
do. Look at
yes,
these.
the beauty you brought in here today is some of the stuff that you can buy at 30% off.
Yep.
But some of the stuff only has roots.
Yep.
But what's wrong with the roots? Like the roots are great, like they're coming out of the bottom of the pot. It's so good to get them in this time of year, so they have the full winter to establish,
Right.
and then in the spring we get a bloom. We get what we want. That's like you said.
They're dreaming.
They're dreaming
dreaming.
of blooming,
They're
and they'll do it in the spring if you get them in now. And 30% off, like you can't beat that.
Yeah. so-
Right now,
so
and
come on out.
if you had happened to aerate and overseed your yard this particular fall in Middle Tennessee, you did the right thing, and
Yeah.
it's not too late. You're getting right at the end of the run, but the way it's been as warm as it's been, you could still get some good seed down and get it going.
This has been one of the best overseeding of a lawn that you could imagine.
In the last 5 for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's been great.
I've never overseeded a lawn.
Well, you don't have to,
Why?
because your lawn just grows. We're out in the country in a field.
I do. My lawn gets wild, but then
Same.
there's all these little birds and insects in it, and super cute. All right,
That's
let's
great.
get back to some
Okay.
questions. When should I cut back all of my dead perennials like echinacea and rudbeckia?
I love how they say all my dead perennials. Like they're dead.
They're
What do you
not
need to
dead. We
call
were
'em
just
for?
talking
Yeah.
about that. They're
They
still
look
alive.
dead.
The stuff up top. Now, I leave mine up through the winter. I leave
Okay.
them for the birds. I leave them as a habitat for our friends, for our pollinators that are out there. And then in the early spring, I'll go and start clearing stuff out to create space for new growth.
I've still got
Austin
zinnia
would go
blooms.
crazy.
You're so right.
You hate my garden.
No, I
and
don't.
I'm okay with that.
Don't say hate. I don't hate your garden. I love
It's
that you.
it's opposite from what you do. Austin's a very tidy gardener. He can't stand.
You cut everything back.
Oh yes.
I cut nothing back.
I can't leave. Like
Can't do it.
I can't. I weed eated my Shasta daisies like a month ago. Like they were up and
Oh my gosh! Did
I could, yeah, just straight weed eated them. It was great. I had
whacked
It's
them
a
to the-
Shasta disaster.
it was.
Did they
I,
look
joke, Tyler.
bad?
I still
Yeah,
have.
they look bad. Not the leaves. The leaves were fine, but the leaves were like this tight little mound atop of the ground, okay? Above that was yuck blooms that were black and horrible and annoying me. So I weed eated them.
You know what my rudbeckia looks like right now?
Yuck.
Just black up top.
Yeah.
Black seed heads, and it's great.
I've still got lots of zinnia blooms.
Me too.
I bet
Yeah.
they're still going.
Yeah, they're still growing.
And they're feeding the monarchs.
Yes, they are.
Butterflies that are still flying.
And the little sparrows are out there, and they're loving it.
So I recently got a bird app called Merlin, and it's amazing, and it's really inspired me to leave all the plants because they're gonna feed the birds, and just it makes you more excited whenever you really can ID the birds and you know who they are and become friends. And
Oh, I'm
Is
a
that the
bird
one that
person.
chirps
Yeah.
that tells you the sounds as well? Is that-
you can. It's got all the kinds of features. Yeah.
It reads the audio, the background audio, and then identifies the bird call.
Yeah, you record.
It's amazing.
It's a highlight of my winters watching the birds. I love it. And when it snows and you put the bird seed out and they all come out there, stop looking at me
Y'all
like that.
becoming friends with birds.
And squirrels. Listen, we
No, we don't become friends with squirrels. No, draw the line right there. I'll give you birds. I'll give you birds. I will not give you squirrels. I hate squirrels. Everybody hates squirrels. Joyce, you're probably listening. You hate squirrels too.
shout out to Joyce. Good morning.
Hey, Joyce.
Oh, my
I don't know why I
goodness.
brought you up, but you're in my mind this morning because we love you.
Joyce has already commented and said, "Go, Josh."
See?
Gardening Inside Out is brought to you by Earth Mix Garden Products, creating regionally sourced high-quality soil blends and amendments for the sustainable-minded gardener. Fall and winter are great times to plant in the Southeast, and Earth Mix can help you with Landscape Soil Conditioner. Mix landscape with your native soil to feed all winter long. Added mycorrhizal fungi help your plants get established faster and increase hardiness through the year ahead. Visit earthmix.net for more information and retailers near you. Remember, success begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix garden products.
Very good.
So,
very good.
Natalie, tell us what you learned about mycorrhiza fungi.
Yeah, so I don't know a ton, okay, but I recently went to a conference and I got to see these scientists and they were all talking about the importance and they were so hype about fungi. I mean, they were so excited.
There was a bunch of fun guys in the room.
There were.
fun guys.
Including Natalie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, their enthusiasm was contagious. But the coolest thing was we got to watch a video of some like the network underground, and we got to see what it looks like whenever the nutrients is going up. And what's so cool is that we know that plants sequester carbon out of the atmosphere. And so in this video, you could see carbon coming down, and then you could see other nutrients going up. And it wasn't just like one directional.
No.
You could see nutrients start to go up, and then it said, actually, the roots over there need it more. And so then it went backwards, back down, and then like split into two. Or in one case, it went down and then changed its mind and went over here. So it's like the way that the roots are communicating with each other. And
We're getting going.
Well, yeah, I mean, beneficial fungi is a network. It's extreme. You know, it takes all of that fungi for the root system, for the xylem and the phloem, for all those things to happen.
The xylem and the phloem.
Yes, that,
Okay,
Josh.
wow. Okay.
All of that to take up and to go down and all those things. But it takes the fungi. It's beneficial. Like, the fungus is such a crazy world. Like,
Yeah, it's insane.
it's insane. And those guys get super excited about it. You're right. Like, the fungi guys, the fungi
Fungi, yeah, the fungi, yeah.
those guys are something different. So, but you're right. It takes all of that down below for the things up top to look great. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's great.
And
So cool.
Earth
Great.
Mix happens to have that in it.
Yes, it does.
It
So-
does.
It does.
Earth Mix
It's
is
just-
fantastic.
It's great to illustrate how much it helps.
It really, when you open the bag, and again, we're still selling. When you open the bag, you can notice the difference between it and just about everything else that's on the market. I mean,
Yeah.
you just from the smell.
Like you said, you can smell it, you can feel it. I had a guest yesterday come out and he wanted to see what he could use for a raised bed, and I took him to our garden bin out here, and I literally had him pick it up and feel it.
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh, this looks great."
Yep.
I'm like, "It is great.
It is great.
It is."
You were right.
Very good.
It's very good. You know what? It's also great.
What?
What's in room with what's in bloom?
What's in bloom?
Here we
Oh,
go.
aren't we so professional?
What's in bloom? Okay. I'm not going to go too long on this today because, you know, a lot of the same stuff is in bloom, but a lot of the new stuff is in bloom. What is supposed to be blooming right now, though? What we brought in here today. What you brought in here today for the most part.
Camellias.
Yes.
We are
Y'all.
loaded up here at the nursery.
Y'all, okay, if you're not growing a camellia, you're doing something wrong. Like, a camellia isn't like a hedgy type plant. It's not like that foundational plant. It's like that specimen plant. They're kind of expensive. They're an evergreen that blooms fantastic. Y'all, there is a camellia society.
Oh wow.
Not surprising.
There's a society for camellias. What?
Didn't Ben say there's something like 30,000 different cultivars
Something
of
There's
camellia?
insane.
so many.
Something insane. Fun fact about camellia, that's where all your tea comes from.
And we have that, the tea camellia.
One of the
I
most
bought 2 of them.
consumed beverages on the planet.
Only $15.99
How much?
Camellia sinensis.
for a 1 gallon.
Yes.
$15.99.
That's where tea comes from. Isn't that insane?
We've got the large leaf and the small leaf.
But then all of these that we have in studio are purely ornamental. And look, a bloom literally just dropped off
Yep.
behind me. Y'all, don't shake your camellias, okay? The blooms will fall off. Don't do that.
Don't go out there and shake them.
But
Why would
they are
you?
fantastic. Everyone needs one. Everyone needs at least one camellia in their garden.
They do.
It's
So-
an evergreen that blooms in a weird time of year. Like, it's needed, okay? So there's my rant about camellia.
And we have a lot right now. I just want to say that one more time. We have so many. 1 gallon to probably 15. No, we don't have a 15 gallon.
Yeah, we do.
We do?
Yeah, we do. They're expensive, but boy, are they something.
I start with the 1 gallons,
Yeah.
and we still have a lot of those.
Wait, the 3s are great. There's all sorts of great ones. Y'all, we got like over 100 camellias right now.
Wow.
Come out and get some. Come look at them. Hey, you know, still the weird stuff is happening. We got rhododendron. We got azalea. Azalea is full show right now.
Yep.
Not even half show, not even quarter show, full show people.
Blowing up in
Azaleas.
Murfreesboro.
What are they gonna
I
do in the
saw
spring?
A bunch of them yesterday.
Are they going to bloom great in the spring again? I don't know.
I don't know.
Are they? We have to wait and see. I don't think so.
Okay.
That's my theory.
Well, it seems like
okay?
it's bloom for the year.
Maybe. Hey, abelia's still blooming. Petunias are still blooming.
Yep.
All that stuff's still
My
happening.
petunias look great right now.
Yeah, petunias
Fantastic.
are money power right now. Money power is the word, the words for that. And then, hey, let's just talk about
phrase.
a phenomenon: hackberry trees. Okay,
What about them?
I'm gonna tell you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about hackberry trees. You know
Okay,
what
I'm here
happened? They get the woolly aphids in the spring or in this summer. You know, woolly aphids were everywhere. We got the black sooty mold all over the hackberry leaves. They look awful. That's what they do. Okay? It's a part of it. So those old hackberry leaves have dropped off. They're like, I'm done. I'm done with this season.
I'm
done.
out.
But they've set new buds for the spring to crack new growth. That new growth has already happened. Hackberry trees are re-leafing right now.
That's no good.
Yay.
Is it? I don't know. Is it no good? Or is it just like part of it?
I guess it's part of it.
I don't think they're going to die because of it. Do you? I mean, they can't.
No, they're not
die.
going to die because of it.
No.
I mean, it'll get all that new growth will get burned. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter.
Does it? I know. I'm this year has got me thinking so much about
His head
trees.
hurts, you can
It
tell.
does. About deciduous plants. Do they even need a cold period? Do they even need winter? Or could, if we just stayed warm, could they just drop their old leaves and reflush and live through the winter if we were warm enough? I don't know.
I guess we probably need people to chime in who live in zone 9, right? Or 8, 9, 8B maybe, where
But
things
they
are
still go
milder.
through winters. Like we all still go through winters here, you know. But like in like say Miami,
There's
like
not a whole
they
lot
don't
of
go through winter
hackberries
there.
in
But there's no
Miami.
hackberries there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Too hot.
We live in deciduous world.
Deciduous trees. I feel like they do need that dormancy time.
I mean, I feel like they want it. We all kind of want to chill.
That time to sleep and dream.
That time to sleep and dream about their blooms.
about their blooms.
Yeah.
Which, leads us into. Hold on, I gotta.
We do
keep,
have
keep talking.
we do have a
comment-
photo
a
that
com-
came in as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of photo?
Caroline, you're in the
we
middle
ready
of
for a
something.
photo?
I was right in the middle of something.
What are you doing, Caroline? Do it.
Reading something very important from Risha.
Reish.
And Tyler interrupted me.
Butterfly bush Reish.
Butterfly bush Reish. She, her little puckster is still blooming, she says, but also back to the dream question. They dream of bees and pollination.
Reish. You're so cute.
Cute. All right, Tyler, what was that photo you wanted to get up?
It was from the Highland Rim Research Garden in
Oh, the
Springfield.
Monarch Way Station.
Yes.
Look at
Yeah, this
that
comes from
butterfly bush.
Jeannie. Jeannie says wanted to show off our butterfly bush in full bloom.
Wow.
Look, the butterfly bush is money. I'm in love with that, but also behind it, the Gomfrina. that
Gomfrina.
you
Yeah, I
got
was
right
looking at
there.
that.
Shout out Ann in the office who loves Gomfrina. What a great annual plant. And I call it an annual. It's not necessarily an annual. It reseeds every year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
What do we
I have so much now.
What's the common name? Globe amaranth? Is that
Yeah.
right? Globe
Yeah.
amaranth? Yeah. Gomfrina. An awful name.
Gomfrina.
An awful name.
I
for a
love
plant.
that
I
name.
love it too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I would name
Gomfrina?
my next
Yeah.
dog
Y'all don't
that.
love that. Don't act like y'all love that word.
I don't know why I love it.
A little dog named
But-
Gomfrina and you call her Frina?
It's
No.
the same reason
Can't beat
why
that.
I like the word gully washer.
Yeah, I
You
love
know,
that
there's
too.
something about it, Gomfrina.
Gomfrina for a plant sounds
I don't know.
awful to me.
Maybe it
Look,
sounds
I
like
love the plant. Don't get me
Sounds
wrong,
like a
but that
hobby.
name is awful.
Bubba Gump Shrimp. Gomfrina. We
Gomfrina
got-
is not awful. It's a great name and a great little annual you can grow.
It's a great annual. I'll give you that, but it's not a great name.
Hey, Joyce says, out of
Joyce.
control today.
I know. Austin's
What?
fired up like a solar flare.
She. We started the day off talking about farming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got me all juiced.
It did. But Jeannie, that is a beautiful butterfly bush.
That is a beautiful
I really
butterfly
want to
bush.
go visit that, their garden. That would be great. Let's get to a couple more questions.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Do it.
Is now a good time to divide hosta? I need to do that. We took that that quiz. Was it a quiz? It wasn't a quiz. That's the wrong word. Poll about my striptease hosta that was huge. I'm waiting for a little bit longer to divide mine.
Yeah, I mean,
But I'm going to do it soon.
like we always say on this show, let's wait till dormancy. Okay, so let's wait till those leaves kind of slough off. And
I mean, they look pretty bad right
I mean,
now.
Josh mentioned the weather earlier, and like he said, it's going to get cold, but cold is only 41.
Right.
Like that's as low as I've seen so far. We're not even into the 30s yet. I haven't seen a 32. I have not seen a freeze. I haven't seen a frost.
Nope.
Any of those things yet. So we're still kind of
Trucking
hanging
along.
on. Yeah. I mean, now when it comes to hosta, y'all,
It'd be
hosta
fine to
is
do
the
it now.
toughest plant, the easiest shade perennial on the planet. Let's be honest. If you wanted to divide it now, you're not going to hurt anything. But we generally recommend winter
Yes.
to dig it up, divide it, separate it, move it, all those things. But like I said, if you want to do it now, go ahead and do it. If you're just antsy in your plantsy, do it.
Then get it done and get you a striptease hosta. That is the best hosta on the market.
That is a beautiful hosta.
It grows really big. Grows real big. All right. Is it better to leave leaves on the ground or should I rake them up? Leave them.
I guess it kind of
I
depends
leave.
on what we're talking about. I mean,
On
when
your driveway? Probably not.
Well, no, I think they're talking about like in your yard.
in the lawn,
In the
most
lawn.
definitely. Y'all do not even understand how much leaves play a role in the health of your lawn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you just bag them up and get them out of here and take them away, they're
'em
not
up.
adding back to the ground. Like in the natural forest, whenever leaves drop, they decompose, they break down. They add the fungi you were talking about, all of that good stuff that we want in a natural forest scenario. In your lawn is no different. If you really want, like
Don't
a
let
healthy,
them get too deep, because if you shade them out completely, you're going to kill your grass. But
Exactly,
I mean,
but what
chop
we-
it up. I mean,
that's the
yeah,
thing.
yes.
You mow again. Okay, you mow over those leaves, kick them back into the grass. After you mow and they get you see leaf litter across your lawn, give it a day or two, and the wind and everything is going to just like disperse of that, and it's going to just add back to your lawn, and you're not even going to notice it.
I just leave them. I let it kill the grass.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben Trest, one of our landscape specialists here at the nursery,
Ben
commented
doing?
twice in a row and said,
should
"Leave them alone."
Leave them
There you
alone.
go. Benny knows.
Perfect, Ben. Ben is on the show from time to time. Shout out, Ben. I bet he will be on fairly soon.
Yeah,
Ben's
we
a fun
talk about
guy.
we talk about the butterfly. We were talking about butterflies. They love that leaf litter that's down underneath the trees. So if you've got a tree line like I do at my house, I try to keep the leaves in a segregated area over there underneath the trees and just let them go. And then they're going to go away over the winter time. But next spring,
Yeah,
when
they break down.
Yep.
And like fireflies love
Oh, yeah.
to. So I always think like if I leave the leaves, more fireflies, more butterflies, all the things that, actually, I don't know. Some butterflies.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I think so.
What about the
We're all
lightning
like,
bugs?
Moths for
The
sure.
lightning bugs?
Lightning bugs?
Yeah, lightning
okay.
bugs.
You're a firefly or a lightning? Because
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
whole
I
different
kinda go back and
discussion.
forth.
Lightning
I
bugs.
say
or
lightning bugs. I'm
I'm a lightning
southern.
bug guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Fireflies though, same thing.
I feel like lightning bugs is more south.
Yeah, lightning bugs.
Lightning
don't know.
bugs. I've always called them lightning
Because you got
bugs.
to say bug.
Because they lightning up.
Them lightning bugs.
I do
love
think
them, but
before
yeah.
we move on, it is worth talking about though. If you have old foliage on ornamental plants that have dropped, that had like say a lot of fungus or even
Yep.
bacteria or whatever on those leaves, like leaf spot or whatever, like if it's around your ornamental plants, you might want to at least get them away from that. And you can disperse them out into the lawn. They're totally fine to be out, but get them away from that mother plant, because if you leave that leaf litter below the plant, next spring rains can happen, fungal spores can splash up, and you might see issues on your leaves for the next season. So let's just be mindful of that.
I'm thinking
But-
about Photinia. That's what I'm thinking. The red tips. I mean, you got to get those leaves out of the bottom. of
Red
it.
tip
Oh man.
Photinia, backbone.
All mine died in the 2022 freeze.
lot
And
of
I
them
had
did.
huge ones. They were giant. I mean, they were on the property when I bought it, but
I saw a red tip Photinia at a person's yard, and they thought that it died, and they cut it totally back, and they planted a new plant like right next to it, like
And then
right
is it
next to
like-
it.
So you got a hybrid right there.
Well,
now,
they got a
huh?
plant that they planted. It was like a sunshine ligustrum, I think is what they planted right next to their Photinia. The Photinia came back from the roots, so they've got two plants
That are just
touching each other.
intertwined.
Uh huh.
Mine didn't come back. It did push some little sucker sprouts, and then they died
Yeah.
in the spring, summer. We've got a couple live YouTube comments
do
from Zaxton, maybe. There's no N.
Okay.
But
Lifestyle.
I think that they grow faster. So this is back to talking about plants responding to music and sound. And Austin's so disappointed, but I love it.
I talked to mine.
I talk to
got
mine.
all the day
Yeah.
long.
I've been talking to my plants since I was a kid.
Yep.
Same.
So they say, I know, having conversations with it, and they love it. And that's why I'm so good with houseplants. But back to the comment. I think they grow faster when exposed to music because my hypothesis is that the sound waves cause the fluids inside the plant to vibrate so that chemicals mix faster in plants. I like it. Austin.
Sounds good.
That's,
It's got to be true.
Interesting
It really does, yes.
hypothesis.
It's very
I'd love to
interesting.
test that.
Yeah,
Wave
because,
theory. Okay.
because
And-
before humans, all plants got music played to them.
There was
so
still
they,
noise.
So they grew better.
There was still sound.
So they grew faster.
Humans aren't the only ones that make noise.
Do you also think that
But
wind
music.
stiffens the stems, Austin? That makes stems more
Stronger.
upright?
We're
resilient?
going deep today.
I mean, deep.
Additional support for Gardening Inside Out is brought to you by Bates Nursery and Garden Center, a third-generation nursery located in Nashville, Tennessee, and 20-time recipient for Nashville's Best Garden Center, offering the widest selection of new arrivals for fall, like specimen conifers, Japanese maples, and pansies in nearly every color. Open year-round, minutes from the heart of Nashville in beautiful Whites Creek, Tennessee. Browse their selection online anytime at batesnursery.com. Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932.
But let's go ahead and get into more questions because
Yeah.
we're getting a lot of live ones in.
Oh,
We got
okay.
a lot more to get to. But first, I do want to bring up something that Joyce has said. Joyce talks to her plants. She said, I talk to mine as well. They also respond to touch. So
Careful.
he's silent. Oh, my gosh, that's the first time Austin has been speechless on this show. And then Steve asks on Facebook, what are your thoughts on nematodes?
You know, nematodes are funny. They're like one of the most abundant creatures on the
Yes.
planet.
They're so tiny.
They're so tiny you never
can't
see.
see
You need a
them.
scope,
Yeah.
you need a microscope to see them, and they're you know, some are beneficial, some are non-beneficial.
But
when
the
it comes to
beneficial
nemas.
ones are great.
I mean, I guess. What are they doing? We don't really know. We can't see them. What are they doing down there? You know, they're helping somehow.
Ben might have some opinions on nematodes.
Ben would definitely have an opinion on nematodes because Ben's Ben, and he
we
likes
love
weird
Ben.
things. But like I said, I mean, I'm fine with nematodes.
Okay.
They're there, but then also nematodes can be bad.
Before we jump into any more questions, we need to revisit with Natalie. Natalie Asker-Severs here, and they have a website, TennesseeLocalFood.org, and it sounds like a great organization, and we're going to hope that everything goes well for you. Is there anybody in the organization that grows flowers that go to the farmers markets and that kind of things?
Oh, yeah, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah. And flowers have increasingly become another way for farmers to diversify, their income stream. So a lot of farmers are doing cut flowers and bringing them to market.
One particular, and there's a place over in Triune that grows a massive field of chrysanthemums. I mean, every year. Yeah,
Ooh,
so, yeah.
Chrysanthemums have become like all the rage when it comes to like cut flowers for fall decorations, especially for like weddings. Those chrysanthemums are great for that. I've talked to a local woman who is growing cut flowers literally right up the road.
Yep.
And she said chrysanthemums are like it right now. They are like the it flower for fall arrangements. And why wouldn't it be?
Well,
that's a great one.
because the brides can't buy and they can't afford the dahlias that they really
Yeah.
want. That's
Yeah,
exactly right.
those are crazy.
Trust me, I know this. And
So-
we did a wedding last year. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know all about the price of cut flowers.
Yep. Tyler,
So-
we
Yes,
haven't
Tyler?
done any pictures.
So
over there.
so Natalie, we were talking with
Oh, yeah,
Natalie.
go ahead.
Concerning the local food summit that's happening in December. Can you give us an idea of what possible programming one could expect from the food summit
Sure.
when they attend?
Sure. Yeah. So it'll be December 6th through the 8th. Friday and Saturday will be full programming of workshops, presentations, keynotes, and I actually have the schedule right here in front of me. Speaking of flowers. There's going to be a farmer doing a session on flower farming on small acreage.
Wow.
So I don't know what he's growing on, but if you're farming under an acre, so there's like a lot of farmers are farming smaller scale, and you can do a lot on a little bit of acreage. Using insects as indicators, so like pest management organically, seed saving. How do you,
Yeah, great.
different practices
That's
for
a hot
different
topic.
vegetables and things. Biodynamic farming with Jeff Poppin, the Barefoot Farmer. I'm very excited about this one from the people over at Southeast Grasslands Institute. Are you familiar with
Yep,
them?
absolutely.
Okay, so somebody from their team is going to present on restoring forgotten grasslands of the Southeast.
Great Facebook page, by the way, if you can find that one. It's a fantastic Facebook page that they have.
Yes.
That sounds
Awesome.
awesome.
So those are just like a few, but I mean, just the general categories. We've got like a bunch on actual practical growing tips and workshops on growing vegetables, mushrooms, flowers, whatever. And then we've also got a whole track on urban agriculture. So we have people coming from across the whole state, all the major cities coming together to talk about share learnings, share resources, how to, make growing in the city more accessible to people. And then there's like a whole track on business for people that are trying to farm as a business. There's stuff for people that are food entrepreneurs. There's all kinds of stuff, and our program isn't quite up on the website yet, but it will be next week. So keep checking back at tnlocalfood.org.
That's 6th through 8th of December. It's just weeks away, folks.
Just weeks away.
Weeks away.
That's crazy.
And that would also be a good place to learn about if you are an upstart farmer getting a grant, right?
Yeah, great. Good to mention that. There is a session on leveraging grants for local food systems with an awesome guy named Stephen Ussery, who is so knowledgeable and has helped so many farmers get grants. There's a ton of money out there, USDA money and other, that is available, especially for new and beginning farmers. But the administrative barrier can sometimes keep people from going after those funds. But there's so much money sitting on the table. So there's going to be all, representatives from the Natural Resource Conservation Services, NRCS. They've got a lot of funds available, especially with supporting people in implementing conservation practices. So there's going to be all kinds of great resources to support you, not just in the field, but also on the business side and funding your operation.
And vendors too, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, whole vendor trade show. So excited that you're going to be there, Tyler. I hope you're going to bring that sparkly tablecloth again.
Yes.
It probably will.
The sequin tablecloth.
That was so great. Great vendor trade show, all farm to table meals. A seed swap.
Oh, boy.
Bring any special seeds that you've been saving that were passed down from your grandma, or whatever. That's always really fun. There'll be keynote speakers. There'll be what else? Kids activities.
Very good.
Oh my gosh! So you can bring the kids.
You can bring some kids. Yeah, there's
They'll be excited about being there.
Well, we don't have a lawn and garden fair, folks, anymore. So
I know.
you
Sounds like
it
This is
certainly
it.
does.
This is
This
it. Y'all get out there. I know I will be going. All right, let's get just a couple more questions in because I know we are running out of time.
Big time.
Trying violas and pansies in north-facing window box. The only ones that are blooming are the violas so far.
Okay. Wait it out.
Wait.
Wait it out.
Wait it
They're
out.
coming.
And that comes from Lee, Acer Lee.
Hey, Lee.
Friend of the show.
Hey,
Good to
keep
see you,
those
Lee.
pansies healthy. Keep the green healthy.
Yep.
You're going to see blooms.
Have you replanted your pansies yet?
No.
No. Okay. Touchy subject. So let's get one more question in. Our next question comes from Miriam. Good morning,
Good
Miriam.
morning, Miriam.
What should I do with my macho fern this winter? I hate to say goodbye. Cut it back, let it go dormant. That's what you can do if you don't want to have to spend money on another macho fern next spring. A lot of people treat them as throwaway annuals, and they don't have to be that. So what I will do with my macho ferns, Boston ferns, if I have them and I want to overwinter them and have them for next year, is I will cut them all the way back, just basically like a big old haircut. And then I'll put them in like a heated garage or something. It doesn't have to be super warm. It has to be warm enough to not freeze the plant. And then it can sit dry. I usually will water mine just a little bit. Come spring, bring it out, put it on your porch, fertilize it, water it, and you'll be amazed at how good it's going to look.
That's the key, too, is whenever a plant has no leaves at all, they're not using water all that much. So let's
they're
not just like
sitting.
ferns during the growing season are thirsty creatures. They are. But whenever, like Caroline said, if you cut them back and you cut all the leaves back, like don't keep them just like soaked all the time. They don't want that. But other than that, yeah, you're right. Like just cut them back, throw them in the garage, forget about
Throw
them.
them in don't throw them in your woods like Austin does
Nah.
with his throwaway plants. Throw it in your garage.
Nah,
so it
Miriam, don't throw 'em
stands
in
a
the woods.
chance.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Man, that was too quick today.
It was.
I got more to talk about.
I even pushed us into overtime.
You did.
We started just
for
a
that.
touch later. So
Bonus minutes, so that's
Yep.
all good. But
Yeah.
We do want to thank Natalie.
Thank you,
Astor Seeger,
Natalie.
for
Thank
you,
coming in.
Natalie. Thank
you
It was
so
wonderful.
much.
You're welcome back anytime. Go to the summit. It's up in Clarksville at Austin P on the December the 6th through the 8th. And you can find it at TennesseeLocalFood.org.
tnlocalfood.org.
Yeah, it's Tennessee.
And you can
Yeah.
follow us on social media, TN
Absolutely.
Local Food. We have a newsletter. Subscribe.
There you
Nice.
go. All right, folks, come out here to the nursery and take advantage of the sale. They will give you details on the sale because I'm not authorized to authorize any more discounts. Okay. But, hey, David, I know he's watching. He's watching from a double secret place down there near McMurdo Sound. So we do appreciate him taking the time to take a look at what we're going on. He was just checking up to make sure.
Yeah, he was.
I know.
Making sure we're
We
here.
can't stay away.
For
He loves
everybody
the
at
show
Gardening
so
It,
much.
yeah, Tennessee Garden. For everybody here for Gardening Gardening Inside Out. We thank you for participating and watching the show. Like, share, tell the whole world about us, and we'll be back here from the Green Room Studios next Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, and we'll have some more fun. Thanks. See you then.
We will. Y'all grow food.
Grow food.
Grow
Yeah.
food.
Yes.
Be like Natalie.
It's all good. It's all good. Food and not.
Thank you for tuning into the Gardening Inside Out podcast. If you're looking for more information or more from your hosts, don't forget that we have a live Saturday morning broadcast, 8 a.m. Central Time on YouTube and Facebook. You can also follow us on our Instagram channel. That's @Gardening Inside Out for more posts, reels, and in-depth dives to topics and things we've discussed on the show. If our content resonates with you, consider giving us a follow, like, and subscription on all of our social media pages. See you next time.